Let's assume you have things in Illustrator that you want to reuse again and again and again in other files. So this could be swatches, symbols, graphic styles, and brushes. So what are your options? One of the options is to have them save into a library. This, in this case, is a CC library, which is stored on Adobe servers. So you might not want that. But if you want, just follow until the end. I'm going to cover that. As for the other things, if you plan to do so, the first thing would be that you delete everything from those panels that you can delete. There are always some things you can't, but most of them you can. So you go to the actions, and in there, in the default actions, you will find one that is delete unused panel items. Just click it and run it. And then you see most of it got deleted. Those two can't be deleted. This can't either. And those you have to delete manually. So let's just select this and hold down Shift and the last one and then delete it. These two cannot be deleted either. So now you can create your own. So for the swatches, this would mean you select all that artwork and then you click here. There's also a command in the panel menu, which is add selected colors. It has one downside. It doesn't create white and black as global swatches, so you want to use this one. And then check this here and go ahead. So you have global swatches for all of them, even the white here. In order to create symbols, we're going to use the 3D and Materials panel because it has a nice feature. So go to Materials and Graphics and then take all of them. So each of them is grouped. And then in here, we can add as multiple graphics. And we've got all the symbols. There they are. You only have to name them. So currently they are just named and have a number. In order to name them, you can click them and then open the options. Or you can show them as a list and then directly double-click and name them. And maybe, because it's very small, just make a large list view to see better what they are about. In order to create a graphic style, all you need to do is have an object that has the color and other attributes that you want it to have. So, like this, for instance. And we can also add some dashes to that and make that thicker. And then you can just drag it inside and you have saved the graphic style. I have a couple of videos about brushes, so I'm not showing that, but basically it's also a pretty simple procedure. Now, when you want to save what's inside of here, or this, or this, or this, you can go into the panel menu and then save it. For the swatches, you have two options: as ASE, which is for exchanging with Photoshop and InDesign, and as AI, which is only for inside Illustrator. You can save it, and Illustrator will go to a default location, which is inside your user folder. It makes a lot of sense to have it there. I'm going to save it as a test, but actually you can save it anywhere. So if you want to share it with other people, you can also have it on your server. This is just a normal AI file, and you can open it from that location in order to later change or edit it. So it has now been saved. And then you can go into this menu, and here you see user defined. And there is our library, which opens in its own panel where you can use it in other files. It will only appear in this menu if you have saved it to your user folder. If you have saved it elsewhere, then it won't. But then you can always go to Other Library and open it from the location where you saved it. If you save it to a server and then use it directly from there, then in order to proceed with what I'm showing now, it's crucial that you mount the server before you launch Illustrator. So what we can do now in order to have that every time when starting Illustrator, go into this menu and check persistent. So now it will open every time you launch Illustrator, and let's just create a new file. And you see these are all default, and this is there, and you can use all the swatches from it. The same applies to brushes and graphic styles and symbols panels. Now let's take a look at the libraries. You can save swatches directly to a library, although there are several issues with it. You cannot save symbols directly in a library. There's no functionality to do so. And graphic styles and Illustrator brushes will not work either. But there is a workaround. If you already have that item, then what you can do, so let's have this one here. Let's see if it has been created as a symbol. No, it has not been converted into a symbol. So we can do this and drag it out of the symbols panel. And this is now a symbol. So in order to save that into a CC library, what you can do now is take this symbol and drag it inside of that library where you want to have it. So let's take this one here and drag it inside, and then it will be saved as a symbol into the library. That is not just artwork, but that is a symbol. And the same goes with brushes and with graphic styles. So you draw something, apply the graphic style, and then put it inside. Then it will save the graphic style with it. So when we now go to the other file and take these objects, so first of all, I'm going to empty the symbols panel and empty the graphic styles panel. And now I'm going to drag this out of here, but it's important that when dragging it out, that you hold down the Alt key. And you see it has created the symbol. And again, holding down the Alt key, and we've got the graphic style. So that's how you can save them as libraries. We've got another option. What you can also do is have this file where everything is inside. So you have all your symbols inside, and you have all your swatches and graphic styles and brushes. And then you can go up here, and then you can save this as a template, like this. And then use that template whenever you need all these items. But then every new file will contain all the symbols, all the swatches, and all the graphic styles. And maybe you do not need all of them every time. So you now have the choice of what you want to do. You can be very specific or very broad.